Tuko Riadha, the great of the greatest. Welcome to the end of the season, episode number 90, Tuko Riadha. We've been running together, we've been entertaining each other, laughing, even sometimes getting our emotions on the negative side. It's part of being human being, isn't it? The season and the year is winding down. 2024 is having that countdown before we come to another year. It's been a fascinating year to say the least. There's been attempts of assassination. It's almost like a decline of humanity, deficiency of compassion. It all looks as if there's a demise or apocalyptic outlook out there. But I won't embrace that doom at all. I'll always say there's still beautiful aspects of life we can still embrace and dance to. So let's not be gloomy and doomy and catastrophic in our thinking. Let's still keep that hope. Keep that gaze on the beautiful universe and the providers of life. Because life, my friend, life is a gift. Life is a precious gift. Is your friend JKKC on the throne of love saying, welcome to this, what I call the rapturing moment of Tuko Riadha, number 90, man. How did we get here? We got here because we like each other. We like each other, we view each other, we subscribe to each other's thoughts once in a while. Sometimes we view it when we have the time, which I appreciate that. And so, how are we winding down? What do we have to say about winding down? Well, since you are listening, and since you are there, and since you are gazing right at me, and we're having kind of an interaction, I'll tell you what's going on. Let's just cross the pond and go to Europa. Let's go to Europe. Europeans seems to be having a great season in terms of cross country. They want to rename the cross country to something else. I'll find out. They are trying to rebrand it. I think I like the fact that athletics, Riadha in each way, in one way or another, they are trying to reformat it to capture the present audience or the current audience, because you have to recalibrate every time, and I don't mind that. Sebastian Coe, he's running for IOC presidency. I think I like what he said the other day, that Michael Johnson Grand Slam idea of track, or this new parallel platform of promoting track in North America, which is pretty much where it's focusing, it's not a threat to athletics. It's a way of reformatting. It's a way of having different platform and promoting the same sport, which is track, which is, to me, we need to embrace diversity. I think sometimes we feel threatened because we have our traditions of track and field. I think I've shared my view on that. The only thing I don't appreciate, is when there's this exaggeration, this hyperbole of, Michael Johnson saying he's going to save track. You don't save anything. You just, there's a foundation, right? And so you try to bring something new, add value. I believe in adding value. This idea of obliterating and just wiping out a history or a tradition and think you're going to put something new, this artificial intelligence mentality, I think is overrated. I think there's still foundation that we can build on. You can make things better. There's a progressive way of looking at things. Anyway, let's go to Europe. Let's find out what Europeans are doing. Jakob Ingebrigsten, the Norwegian, the outspoken, the character, the main phase of middle distance running, the guy who won 5,000 gold medalist. What does he do? 3 times now. He's a three-peat in cross-country championship in Europe. He won it in style. I was happy to see that. I think one of the things I usually appreciate sometimes when I look across the pond and realize that, you know, athletics is global. And I think even the other day, I was really shocked at how many Kenyans in high school, in college, in corporation, affiliation in Japan. I was really shocked. I found out that Kenyans, yeah, we've exported our talents. Kenyans, we have to say that. Kenyans have gone abroad. They're expatriates everywhere in athletics. They've done a great job. Japan, I kind of hinted to it one time that Japan has embraced Kenyans since the days of Douglas Wakihuri, Sami Wanjiro. I think they had gone there to, not some of them to study, to join some corporations that have embraced Kenyans. Is global. This sport is global, like football is global, so is athletics. And Japan, I think, is underprojected, let me say, compared to America as far as assimilating Kenyans and Kenyans training there to be better athletes. I think Douglas Wakihuri back in the days said the presidents. Here in America, I could even attribute it to people like Henry Rono. So in every country, in the Far East, in the West, I don't know about Europe. Europe has been a place where I think Kenyans go to make money. They have different arenas. They have the Grand Prix, the Diamond thing where Kenyans go is closer to Kenyans. But for most part, I found out that the gardens, the training grounds for most Kenyans who have succeeded in marathon, maybe in track, has been America and Japan. And I think Japan, I think I need to investigate more of how Japan has become a training ground for great athletes. Like I said, Douglas Wakiuri back in the days. But again, I got distracted here because I was talking of Jakob Ingebrigsten, the Norwegian. As he's winning, he just won the, as I say, European cross country. There was something that I read that there's a dark side to everybody, I think. And I think we have to acknowledge that. There's always, to balance life, there's always a dark side to even the greatest. In that Jakob Ingebrigtsen is in court because apparently or allegedly, the four brothers, he has four brothers who are great middle distance runners. They have come up accusing his father, who was a coach before the Tokyo Olympics. They're accusing the father of having been abusive and having assaulted them, having subjected them to violence during their childhood, to a point whereby they are going to court, and he's being accused of violence on his own children. To me, this is just the dark side of athletics and human beings. That, like I introduced myself today by saying that I think and I suspect as human beings, we will always have these stories. I don't think we are going to say we are superhuman beings, even as great as what we might think artificial intelligence looks like. We all are deficient when it comes to compassion, being custodians of each other, being what they call brother's keeper or sister's keeper or whatever keeper. And so when parents are accused by children of having violated their indignity by physical abuses and all that stuff, it should not shock us. It should just remind us of the fact that we are not close to perfection. That even the Jakob Ingebrigtsen, as we celebrate gold coming out of Paris in 5,000, and maybe even breaking world record in 3,000, there's a dark side. There's always light and there's always darkness. They always contrast each other. So it's sad for me. It's sad that as I share his success in cross-country winning, he's winning. At the same time, there's always that contrast. There's always that, what do you call that? There's always counter to everything. There's always winning and there's losing. So while he's losing his father in a case in court. I don't know how which side is gonna fall out when it comes to how the judicial system work in Norway. I hope, we all clamor, we all pray, we always hope for justice in this part of the universe. How this will play out, I have no idea. But to hear that the father was abusive to his children is a tragedy. It's a tragedy that I don't share with a sense of good for who. I don't care. It's bad, it's sad. So anyway, yeah, I just that he's winning, and not only did he win, there was the Italian woman. Let me see, what's her name? The Italian lady who won in the women category. What was her name? Let me see. Yep, there she goes. Yeah, I share these things, guys, because I think for me, I'm realizing that life has ambivalence to itself, a paradox. It's gray. It's never a straight line. It's not linear. Life is not linear. There's always detours. There's always places where you ask yourself, what is this? Yeah, it's part of life. Life is a mixture, the good, the bad, and the ugly, according to some movies that Clint Eastwood one time was my hero, talks about. Yeah, in the women category, the Italian Nadia Battocletti, she wins the gold, the European cross country championship that happened 2 days ago. So yeah, I was sharing that while capturing the whole essence of humanity and how this year has been a roller coaster for me when it comes to athletics. There's been there's quite a high. You can get such a high. I've gotten that, but there's always a low. There's a low when you come from Olympics in Paris to a demise of Rebecca Cheptegei, to hearing about Jakob Ingebrigsten, father, and all that. So we have to embrace all this, knowing that we are flawed. And I think we have to embrace our flaws. We have to ask ourselves, how can we be better human beings? And I think that's the challenge for most of us, having that discussion of being better. And realizing that you can never have an ideal situation. So, yeah, we have winners in European Championship, in Jakob and Nadia, the Italian. I was going to share that with you. But you can tell that I'm really trying to figure out how to wrap up the season in Tukoriada, at the same time realizing that the deficiency we all suffer from is a compassion. The compassion not just to the human beings, but the the inanimate things. Like, for instance, the other thing, I don't know whether you guys are aware of this, but the most abused animal in the universe, as I speak, as I stand here, or I sit here, is a pig. I found out the other day that it is ranked very high in how inhumane we've been to the pigs, to the point whereby I wonder whether we are aware of it. We love pets. We love eating our pigs. We love our pork, but we care about how we treat the pig. It's the most mistreated animal in the universe. It's very sad when I say this. I mean, some people might laugh at this. They might say a pig is a pig. You sweat like a pig. You're a pig. we call. But it's an animal. It has a soul. It has feelings. It has its own thoughts. It has a soul. It has a place in the universe. But it's the most abused animal in the world. It is, sadly so. It's not breaking news for me. It's sad news for me. So as I wrap up this show, I'm just going to share that we are very low when it comes to compassion. Deficiency is really at a low right now. I was looking at some pictures coming out of Gaza. I was looking at pictures how I'm celebrating the end of Assad, the dictator, the Tartarian, the killer of Syrians. I celebrated that day. I didn't share this with you. This is not CNN, but the fact that this guy is fleeing. How do you flee a palace that you've tortured people? To have a palace, he had a palace, but underneath were prisons. It's one of those things you're like, You know, I've wrestled with this, with the 1940s of Hitler, an extermination of people, and how it was orchestrated and engineered with meticulous precision to kill a people. It's still happening as we speak. Assad, the Syrian leader who just fled to Russia, where is another killing machine in Russia. You know where I'm going with this. To find that he was living in a palace, and next to the palace, next to this golden palace, is another extermination camp underneath in prisons. To see young kids fleeing out of those prisons, running for their lives. They don't even know where they're running to. They just ran out of those prisons once they were released by the rebel group that took over Syria the other day. Tells me that, yes, our deficiency is compassion. We are very deficient on that. Anyway, that was me just wrapping up this 90th Tukoriada. Just saying that we have a long way to go. But for me to you is love, my friend. Enjoy this week. Enjoy whatever you are doing. Be engaged. Talk to me. Let me know what you think. But for me, to you, is love. Because love covers, is an antidote to all kind of fears and flaws. Love rules. Ha!